Hello there, and welcome back to the Agostinho Zinga Show with your host, Agostinho Zinga, and this is episode number 672. That is 672 of the Agostinho Zinga Show, and I hope wherever this podcast may find you, you are doing splendid and you are doing fine wherever you may be. How am I? I'm amazing, all things considered. I'm absolutely amazing. I'm absolutely amazing. I've been training a bunch. I've been reading a bunch. I've been working hard at work, working hard at home, and doing all the things that I need to do to make sure that I'm productive and I'm doing the things that I need in order to pursue and to achieve my dreams. Because I can't handle this 9 to 5 anymore. You know the pain? You know the pain. But yeah, apart from that, what else has been going on? Oh, I've been watching some decent TV, actually. For once, there's been some decent TV, which I'm going to obviously speak about later on in the pod. Stuff like Bosch Legacy has been pretty good to watch. I'm enjoying Silo, which is a decent new sci-fi that's just started, an adaptation from a book. Citadel is really horrible, but I'm still enjoying it for a little bit that it is available. And what else? I can't think of much else I'm watching that's good, but those two so far are pretty decent. And I think Barry season 4, as much as I'm enjoying it, it doesn't hit the same as the first 2 seasons. Clearly, it's kind of fallen off a cliff. But considering it is the last season ever, I'm going to stick with it and hoping the writers are going to be able to put together a decent ending and wrap it up in a nice, tight little bow for me. A nice, tight little bow. So, talking about bows, talking about tight, talking about dancing. We ain't talking about that, but I'm going to talk about it. Recently, it has been revealed. It has been finally revealed. The Berghain June 2023 lineup. And I am over the moon because it feels like it's come a little bit before the date it's meant to come. I have a feeling it's usually on the 6th day, the month before they usually put out the lineup. It feels like, or maybe later. I'm not really too sure. But either way, happy it is here. And the lineup is very, very interesting so far from what I've been able to kind of glean. A lot of cool people that I definitely want to go see. But if you're looking for a real barnstormer of a flipping Berghain lineup with loads of big names and whatnot, this isn't the one for you. There were far bigger names in previous months that you could have gone to. This one is definitely for the heads, it feels like. But there is still some surprises that I'm like, huh? How the diggity duke did this person end up playing on there? The first one I want to mention before we get into the ones I love is the ones I'm not really too fond of, is this lineup here on the Thursday. So it seems like it's a new night they're putting on. Maybe it's like more catered towards people that are going to be performing live. I'm not really too sure. Or maybe this is just what they usually do in the Sal Room. They put on nights on Thursdays. But this is an event. It's called Weirdos with 3 E's because, you know, if you want to be a weirdo, you got to really state it. You're a weirdo. And it features a person called Abyss X, a person called Miss Parker, a person called Shake, and then it's got this person here, Chippy Nonstop. Just for pure honesty's sake, this woman must have the best agent in the world because the clips I've seen of her playing and her persona that she puts out online, I'm sure it's a different, behind the scenes and when you meet her in person, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure she's a lovely person. Not really, discussing that. Just more discussing the artistry or lack thereof. How does somebody who is demonstrably terrible at what they do, in my opinion, from the clips that I've seen her play, it's just terrible. The music is terrible. The mixing is terrible. The taste is terrible. The dancing is terrible. Everything about it is terrible. Even the looks. I'm not someone to flip try and discuss a woman's physical attributes. That's not what I'm saying. But the outfits themselves are pretty crap, in my personal opinion. Not the most, just not the greatest outfits behind the deck. So all of that smazz and pizzazz, all of that lack of rhythm, all of that lack of taste, but still you end up reaching the heady heights of playing in the illustrious space that is Berghain, which makes me think she either must have an incredible agent or booker, or I might be the one that's a dummy and she legitimately is as amazing as this booking would lead you to believe. Because you'd imagine being booked at Berghain is sort of like it's sort of like a confirmation that you are doing really well, that you are amazing at what you do, that the scene has recognized you for your talents and your expertise. And this is now the stamp that you need to say, hey, you're official, right? You're legit. You're really good. You're sick. You're nang. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not really too sure if this person needs any encouragement. I'm not going to lie. Because of the clips I've seen so far, it's just been horrendous. I can't imagine paying card hold money to go and see this person play. It will be an absolute horror. But again, another part of me thinks, you know what? That's part of the beauty of Berghain. And that's part of the beauty of that big space. Because I feel like if that club was anywhere else in the world, they would only book the biggest of the biggest. They wouldn't bother trying to, bring up some smaller quote unquote acts. They wouldn't try and foster in and platform newer labels. They wouldn't take a chance on people. They'll just book the same old top 50 resident advisor DJs of all time from the DJ polls on DJ Mag or Mix Mag, whatever you're going to get them, and just book them. Have them just recycling through. It'll just be the same old faces. But instead what they do, they freshen it up always, and they're always introducing new and fresh people. Even if I don't like them, I really do kind of appreciate that type of approach, because it gives people like myself, a guy stuck in the doldrums of London somewhere, bedroom DJing, playing in bars for $100. It gives me the hope that one day I too can play there. Because if fucking Chippy Non-Stop can play there, then everyone's got a fucking chance. That's my humble opinion on that one. But moving back to the absolutely amazing part of the lineup, which I think is absolutely stacked. First of all, just going to go through quickly the Panorama Bars, because I think the Panorama Bar rooms are legitimately underrated. The first one I want to mention is the Panorama Bar room on Friday, the 2nd of June, which is called Love on the Rocks, which features somebody that I've been a big fan of, and I'm proud to say this, unabashed fan of Tiny. That whole house sound of like the early 2000s, minimal type thing. Tiny was at the forefront of it. Loads of great productions, loads of great, remixes. And I haven't really seen her play in Panorama Bar or seen her book there in a while. It feels like maybe ever. I'm not really too sure. I'm sure she has played there in the past, but I feel like it's been a while. So with the fact of getting someone like an Oscar Molero that played there, a couple of months ago, I think, or last month, and the fact that they're getting Tiny there, it feels like, the scene is healing again. Everything is coming back to life again. So I'm also about that. Of course, Paramida is going to be playing, with it being Love of the Rocks. That's going to be sick. Paramida is essentially like an unofficial resident DJ. So that will be pretty sick. I'm pretty fond of that one. Scrolling down, we go to the Panorama Bar the following weekend, which is on the Friday, the 6th of June. And this is Jack Your Body. And this is another sick lineup. It features Honey Dijon, Luke Solomon, Nyx, and one of my favorites, who again I discovered courtesy of Whore, so big up that platform, Red Pig Flower. Superb. So if you want a bit of acid, you want a bit of house, you want a bit of Jack in house, you want to just jump around and dance, this is definitely the place to go to. Friday the 6th of June, Jack Your Body in Panorama Bar. Then the next Panorama Bar the following week from that is Friday the 16th of June, which is Cream Cake. And the reason why I love this is because I don't know anybody on that lineup. I don't know a single DJ on that fucking lineup. There's Zombie. There's someone called Cash Cora. There's someone called Don Cada. Someone called Hannah Diamond. Someone called Monrex. Monren Triple X. Someone called One Ton Witch. Someone called XD Eric. This is why I think Berghain is the best club in the world. Because like I said, any other club in the world that was the Berghain, they would only book the best of the best DJs, and they wouldn't give any up and coming people a chance to play there. It'll just be the home of the best of the best. Nothing else, nothing more. And it'll obviously run stale after a time, but there'll be no avenue, no opportunity for you to play in such an illustrious venue, in such a great sound system, facilities, legend, great crowd. It wouldn't happen. So the fact that I don't know any of these people is a credit to Panorama Bar and what they do over there. So big up them. Then the following Panorama Bar, which I really do like as well, is this one here, which is Hammer Nights on the 23rd of June. This one's going to be a really good one because it's all back-to-back sets, which you don't get too often in Panorama Bar. It feels like a lot of people play there usually on their own, but this Panorama Bar back-to-back set is going to be really cool because there's a few label mates playing on here. So number one, you have Bashka playing back-to-back with Nini H. I think that's going to be pretty sick, especially considering, you know, Bashka's new kind of EP and whatnot and tunes that have dropped recently. Then you have Rosa Terenzi back-to-back with Isabella playing. And then you have Sedef Assi back-to-back with Bambuno, who I think is going to be, that's probably going to be a standout. Obviously, I'll be curious to see what Bashka and Nini H do back-to-back. You know, kind of playing alongside your boss must be a little bit weird. Probably not. But yeah, that might be interesting to see. But Bashka did destroy and play really sick at Unfold, from what I've been led to believe from browsing social media. People are really big fans of that. And then Sedef Assi, you know, and Bamboo is somebody I've really been a big fan of. You know, he's got a good social media presence and just generally is a bit of a lad behind the decks anyway. So it's going to be a bit of a vibe. And then we move on. And the final Panorama Bar of the month is going to be Your Love, which features Calypso Bang, Chima Chisoro, Guidance, Lukuti, and Tamasoma. That's going to be an absolute vibe. There's going to be a lot of love in the air, a lot of disco, a lot of Afro beats, a lot of international sounds, a lot of alternative sounds, just really a bright and fresh sort of vibe to kind of go to Panorama Bar for. So if you are a fan or you're curious about going Berghain, those are probably some decent nights to go and check out. And then the rest of it, in terms of Berghain nights, are just all stacked. There's way too many to mention here. The first one on the 3rd of June, you've got Terence Fixima playing, which I'm a big fan of. Gerd Janssen, Panorama Bar on that Saturday. It's going to be sick. So big up that one. Always a good time. The following weekend, you have, who I'm a big fan of, Rodhad here. I'm really curious to go see. I would love to see Cormac play at Panorama Bar as well. The Disco King. Mike Starr's another favorite of mine. Zombies in Miami. So already, you've already got, like, you know, 4 people that you could go see on that one day, the 10th of the 6th. That's going to be an absolute slaughter fest. Then you continue on the 17th. You have Darwin, I'm a big fan of as well. James Rushkin, of course, UK stand-up. F. Demin playing, big fan of that one. And then who else is, no one else on there. Couple Looking for Banana are pretty good as well. Then what else do you have here? Oh, and then of course the 24th is going to be the one that everyone's going to be probably into because there's a lot of local heroes there that are probably going to bring the crowds, especially Freddie K and LOL Snake. They've got a nice little decent contingent of people out there in Berlin who are big fans of them and just internationally so they're going to be on it. And then of course in Panorama Bar, you've got Soft Crash, which is going to be fucking sick. Soundstream, Van An, like all of these, like just too many killers to mention on here. But yeah, it's a pretty decent lineup for June. Like I said, I think in general, this isn't one that's going to be chock full of like big headliners and stuff, but it is one for the heads. And I feel like if you are wanting to have a realer experience of what Berghain is like, because I'm a bit caught in two minds, because in one sense, going to like a Sylvester, going to like a May Day, going to all these like special occasions that they do, it's quite nice because you get to see the club at its full capacity, right, on its tilt. You get to see people from all over the world, the regulars, fellow artists. Like, it's just crazy, right, inside it. It flipping goes off. But on the other side of things too, I think for the first experience, it's probably decent to go to maybe the week after one of those big public holiday events or whatnot, and to re-experience what the real kind of Berghain is like, vibe-wise. Because you usually get a lot more regulars, there's less tourists, there's more room to move around and dance and shit, and you just get a different sort of vibe and a feel for what you're experiencing. I'm really a big fan of that pride, because I feel like the special occasions, they always feel like everybody is going in there with an energy of like, this is going to be my best night ever, this is like my Project X, where I feel like if you go on like a regular night, people are just going out there like it's a regular night, and they're not putting too much expectation into it, and you can kind of feel it in the atmosphere somewhat. So those are usually the best place to go to. So you can pick from literally any of these dates, and some of these dates as well. Look at this, especially on the first of the month, you've got an event happening in that main building from Thursday all the way till Saturday, basically from Thursday till Monday morning if you want, right? You got an event in Seoul, Panorama Bar, Berghain Panorama Bar, and then that obviously leads on to Monday. So the June lineup is absolutely stacked, absolutely amazing. I can't wait to go back again. My plan for now is to go back in July. That's my kind of plan. And maybe go twice. I think gonna go in the middle of July because that party Cocktail d'Amour is happening at Club Ost, which is one of the best and legendary sort of club nights they do out there in Berlin. Mostly kind of steered towards the queer gay scene, but still I go just for the vibes, and it's just generally one of the best disco parties I've been to in a very, very long time, especially because, you know, they don't usually book super big headliners. I think the biggest person they may have booked there might have been someone like a Honey or something. Most of it is like friends and family, still legit, but it's not like crazy big names. So that's always a good time. So I'm looking forward to going to that in the middle of July, and then whatever is around. I don't really care who's playing else. If someone else is playing, I'll go. But the main sort of mark is to kind of go there. And then hopefully try and go at the end of July again for, what's it called? The Kreuzberg Festival, I think. I think that's what it's called. There's like a Kreuzberg Festival thing happening, if I'm not mistaken, in Berlin around July. Let me see. I think it's a Kreuzberg Festival. Is it Kreuz? How do you spell that? Kreuzberg Festival, right? July. I'm pretty sure. There's something happening around July-ish, a festival happening. Maybe I've got the date wrong. Let me see if it loads up here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's end of June, not end of July. My bad. I got my months wrong. So there's a Kreuzberg festival happening at the end of June, which obviously might be a bit of a lick to go to, actually. That might actually be a little bit of a situation. We'll see what happens when it happens. But looking forward to all the occasions happening there. Oh, the reason why I think I mentioned that is because I think, what's they called? Tonics. I think Tonics are putting on an event there. I think that's why I actually want to go. So if I probably put this up like this and I go Tonics, oh, they got a Bandcamp. Let's see if they got an events listing stuff on the Bandcamp, because I think they've got a Tonics event happening during that. Okay, no events on there. So let's go on Tonics via RA and see if they've got it. But I'm pretty sure Tonics, which is one of my favorite, legitimately one of my favorite, Berlin sort of collectives in terms of doing the house music and the disco, for sure, if you want to kind of vibe. And I obviously went there in February, had a fucking sick time, and I think they are doing the event during the Kreuzberg Festival, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I'm not mistaken here by checking RA and seeing their promoters page, but I'm pretty sure it's a Kreuzberg Festival in July that they're doing. Just going to repeat that one more time to stall because the computer's running in triple time. So yeah, there we go. We're scrolling down. Yep, there we go. We got one in Hamburg. We got an event in Aden, Italo-Mania. What else do we have here? Is it continuing? Come on, brother. Give me something. Give me something. Give me something. We got one in Venmendia. It's loading again. Let's see. May, June, July. Yeah, there you go. See? There you go. There you go. Oh, no, it's not even on there, is it? Okay, it's not listed on there just yet, it feels like. But I do remember them having it on there, if I'm not mistaken. Let's do one more last thing. I think if I go on the Toy Tonics Instagram, it should have it on there. Let's see. But I'm pretty sure they had an event. I need to double just for my own sanity, because I don't want to be, booking in stuff and thinking about going places and I've got the dates completely wrong. That would be a complete failure on my end. So let me just double check this and make sure that I've got the right date set up. But I'm sure I saw something during the Kreuzberg Festival for flipping Toy Tonics. This should make a lot more sense to me. Let's see. It's loading. There we go. Yeah, there we go. It's on that poster. See, yeah, I knew I wasn't wrong. So it is the end of July. So if you see this poster here, I think her name is Virginia. I think she's an artist on Toy Tonics, and she's holding a poster, and they've got an event here on the 29th of July. Festsaal Kreuzberg is happening. So if you want to do that, that's also a pretty good option for the next few months happening. But I'm going to keep my eye out in the middle of July and end of July for my dates of what I want to do. But yeah, moving on from that one. Of course, let's talk about some TV series I've been watching. So, I've been watching and having a really good time enjoying Bosch Legacy. I'm not too sure if that's the kind of stuff that you guys will be into or if you care about that kind of thing, but considering that there's not a lot of good TV out, I'm a fan of stuff like The Wire, Narcos, Sopranos, Gomorrah, 000, these kind of like thriller quasi crime series that are written really well. They have amazing dialogue, amazing acting. They're a bit slow burn, but they really kind of take you on a journey and somewhat teach you something, right? It's not just like people speaking for the sake of it. They're actually informing you on things and kind of opening your eyes to different scenarios and different viewpoints and whatnot. And there's not a lot of it nowadays, right? TV, I feel like, isn't as sophisticated as it once was. It's kind of been a bit dumbed down because people just, I guess, maybe just want that kind of entertainment. It's not really for me, but I also know that the stuff that I'm into isn't necessarily going to be blockbuster, right? It's not going to be it's going to be blockbuster. It's not going to be Netflix, that's for sure, right? What just saying? Someone is saying in the chat. PO9 says, The Shield. Of course, I watched The Shield, man. One of the best cop dramas of all time. Of course, I watched The Shield. We have a TV show here in the UK also that I think is on the same level as The Shield, and I'll die on that hill. And that's The Bill. That's also a legendary police drama that I think has ended. I'm pretty sure The Bill's not on anymore, but The Bill was an incredible TV show also. It ran for a very, very, very long time. And I thought at the time it was a bit ahead of its time, personally, when it did drop. And obviously stuff like Spooks as well does really well here in the UK. Anyway, I'm a big fan of Bosch Legacy, more so because the original Bosch is essentially based on this main guy here, who essentially is a grisly cop, kind of a bit disenfranchised with stuff, whatever it may be. And, he kind of gets himself in some dodgy situations. He kind of operates outside of the parameters of being a police officer and gets himself in situations. And of course, throughout the entire series, what I do like about it is that sometimes the consequences of his actions are very grave. It's not like other shows where like he gets away with most things. Everyone kind of bends to his will. Sometimes he catches L's. And I like that in shows. It's more realistic. But then over time, it kind of, ran its course, it felt like. And then this actress who plays his daughter was growing up at the same time, right? During the series was on. And I guess they were naturally trying to like push her to be a little bit more in the forefront of the show. And eventually it got to a point where it felt like they were going to maybe do a little offshoot of the show and have the daughter to be one of the main actors, which I didn't really like because she's not the strongest actor in the group. And the story isn't that compelling. But then when they decided to do like a Bosch Legacy idea, which essentially was, a few years after the fact, removed from him, a few years after the occasions of when the previous season ends, and he now isn't a police officer anymore, the dad, and he now kind of operates as a flipping private investigator for hire. But obviously he's got 20 plus years of experience working in the police department and also skirting outside the lines. So he's, he kind of takes to that role as a private investigator like a duck to water. But then at the same time he's doing that, his daughter has an epiphany and she's like, you know what? I want a purpose in my life, so I'm going to be a police officer. So you've got these conflicting battles going on at the same time. You got the dad trying to maintain control or to try and have a grip and understanding of what his daughter wants and what his daughter's about, and then you also got his daughter trying to kind of live her truth and kind of find herself through working for the police department, but also realizing that everything her dad told her about life in the police and whatnot was true, and sometimes even worse than she would imagine. So I really So I really, really recommend that you check out Bosch. It legitimately is one of my favorite TV series to check out. I really, really, really do enjoy it. And I feel like this current season is really good. And then, of course, I got some new information here, courtesy of Variety, regarding it, which is amazing and I'm over the moon about. It says Bosch Legacy has been renewed for season 3 at Amazon Freevee ahead of season 2 premiere, which I'm super, super pumped about. It says Bosch Legacy has been renewed for season 3. The announcement was made ahead of the Amazon's new front presentation in New York on May 1st. The first season of Bosch Legacy debuted on Freevee in May 2022, with season 2 set to air this fall. Like its predecessor, the Prime Video series Bosch, the Freevee series based on the Bosch novels written by Michael Connelly. It says here, the story of Harry Bosch has evolved over the years, and his journey is so far from over. Anderson, the head of AVOD Originals Unscripted and Targeted Programming at Amazon Studios, said this renewal of Harry Bosch and Bosch Legacy is a testament to the enduring power and the world of Michael Connelly built. We look forward to giving Bosch fandom the next chapter for these beloved characters. So I'm definitely a big fan of it. Can't wait to see more of it. So if you haven't got a series to watch and you're in the mood for some sort of crime, police thriller type stuff, please do watch Bosch Legacy. And if you can, watch the original Bosch also. It's absolutely fantastic, great TV, and I highly recommend it. Let's big up the chat. What you guys saying here? PO9 Ballast says The Last Kingdom, Sherlock are the only good UK TV shows that are top tier. Though we do make the better comedy shows, which is the bottom, Red Dwarf, Leg. No, for sure. I don't believe that. I think we have many shows that are top tier when it comes to UK TV shows, especially when it comes to dramas, like on ITV, on BBC. Like, there's too many to mention. Even I can kind of ring off. I forgot. There's that one with the lady from X-Files, where she plays a psychologist and she's hunting down this serial killer. That show was fucking incredible. I forgot the name of it. What's it called? Is it called Fallen? The Fallen? Is it called something like The Fallen or something? Let me see. Is it The Fallen? No. X-Files lady. What's her name? Let's see what her name is. That woman from X-Files. That's it. Gillian Anderson. What's that TV series she's in? Gillian Anderson, BBC TV series. That for me, I think it's called The Fallen. I'm pretty sure it's called The Fall. That's it. Oh, The Fall. This show, The Fall, I'm sorry, might be one of the best TV shows the UK has produced, maybe in the last decade. For sure. If you haven't watched The Fall, please do watch it. It's absolutely amazing. It features, who's the guy's name again? Is it Cyprian something? I forgot his name. Let me just put up on here so it can show you. But The Fall TV series, as I'm checking it out, is legit one of the best TV series I've ever watched. 3 seasons of absolute bangers. So it features, this guy called Jamie Dornan and the woman from X-Files called Gillian Anderson. It's legitimately insane. Like, one of the best shows I've watched in a long time. And obviously it follows Jamie Dornan is a serial killer, but a really good one. And he gets away with a lot of crimes and shit. He does it in the most brutal, sadistic way ever. And then Gillian Anderson, it's a police officer basically enlisted to kind of snare him, but they develop this weird attraction, this weird kind of like fatal love attraction type of thing. So definitely recommend you check it out if you haven't already. One of my favorites out there called The Fall, for sure. Moving on from that one, we also have to mention another show that I'm currently watching and absolutely loving. It's called Silo. Silo is legit one of my favorite shows that I haven't watched in a very long, that I haven't watched in a long time, especially when it comes to sci-fi. There's a book on it at the moment, or there's books on it, a whole series of books. I think it's free. I'm actually going to be buying them just so I can find out what's going on, because I'm not going to sit around and wait for the flipping seasons to play out so I can find out what's going on. I'm too impatient. But the general premise around it is that there's a small group of people, right? Small group of people who are living underground. And I guess they're living underground because there was some sort of atomic bomb, nuclear bomb, whatever, that went off outside. And most of the population outside are either dead or highly contaminated. So they're having to live in this sort of silo underground. And the whole point of it is that that's where they're basically living. Basically, they're born there, they die there. But they have this view from the top of the silo, top of the flipping, thing that they're in underground that shows them the outside, which they think is the outside. And over time, some people go a bit crazy or they get frustrated of living in that thing and they want to see what's out there and venture out. So you're allowed it, but you have to say these words. Then once you say the words, you're kind of put into prison for a bit. They put you in a shitty spacesuit and then they send you outside. And the whole idea of it is that you're not meant to go outside because allegedly the air is toxic. And because you're born inside of a silo thing, you'd imagine your immune system's all fucked up. You can't actually handle being outside in natural air. So that is the whole premise around it. So once, throughout the entire series, what you kind of realize quite quickly in the first 2 episodes is that whoever told them that the earth is contaminated outside lied. Because one woman gets out and she realizes, I think you see that in the first episode, I'm not spoiling anything. So in the first episode, you see all this. One woman gets out and she basically sees on the other side of the thing that it's not what they kind of screen back in the window. So basically what they don't know is that the windows they're looking through is actually a digital render of what's actually going on, some manipulation, but it's not actually what they see when they're out there. And then of course throughout the series, we're probably going to have to find out why are they down underground anyway? Why didn't they let them up into regular civilization? There's going to be loads of things that's going to kind of occur, but I really recommend, if you haven't got anything to watch again and you're a bit of a sci-fi junkie like I am, please check out Silo. It's fucking awesome. Really good. I really recommend you check it out. Silo. It's available, I think, on Apple TV or whatever, maybe, but you can find it in most places that you stream stuff, or if you want, in those illegal places. But I'm not encouraging that, of course. I'm not encouraging that. Anyway, moving on from that one. Moving on. We have to talk about. We have to talk about the one and the only Destroy Lonely. So, most of you aren't aware, but Destroy Lonely, just fresh off of dropping No Stylist, it feels like just the other day, decided to drop not just another album, 20 plus songs, called If Looks Could Kill. And this might be the album that essentially cements Destroy Lonely's sort of like position in this kind of new school of rappers coming up at the moment, and sort of put some distance between some people. Because I don't think sonically it's that amazing. It doesn't really take you on a journey. A lot of the songs kind of sound the same, but the quality of it, the consistency of the tracks, like the melodies, like it's just on another level. Especially when you consider this kid's only like 21 years old. And he's already got, I don't know, 4+ albums, I think, under his belt. And then he's got, you know, an album like No Stylist, which is definitely going to age incredibly well. And then he kind of drops it and follows it up straight away with another one called If Looks Could Kill. Like, legitimately, this is looking like Destroy Lonely might be the guy. He might be him, Destroy Lonely. And it felt like for a while, him and Ken Carson, you couldn't really differentiate between the two. There was a moment also when Ken Carson, I felt like, was a little bit above him. But now I feel like Destroy Lonely is way above Ken Carson. And now there's going to have to be conversations had with some people, which I don't like to have them because I don't feel like comparing is necessary. I feel like artists can coexist together, even if they've got similar sounds. But considering they're all signed to Opium, there's a conversation currently now on social media as to who you prefer from Destroy Lonely compared to Playboi Carti. And I guess because of recency bias, and because Carti's a little bit more he's a little bit more of a artist in that sense, in that he drops when it's ready, he drops when he feels it. There's no rush. He's not constantly trying to feed the fans. When he's ready, he's ready. Whereas obviously Destroy Lonely is doing that thing that most kids at his age do, where they're just hungry to keep dropping. They're hungry to keep sharing what they've learned. They're sharing what they've kind of gained, the experience, how much they've got better. They just want to keep displaying to you and reminding you, hey, I'm him, I'm him, I'm him, I'm him. So if you want somebody that's going to be consistently dropping, consistently performing shows, who might do a few interviews here and there, obviously you would try and go for Destroy Lonely or Ken Carson because they're not as recluse as Playboi Carti. But I think in terms of range, in terms of artistry, there's no comparing. Obviously, Playboi Carti is on another planet compared to these guys, but it's still great to see kids at this age being able to create work at this level, this consistency, and clearly have a differentiating sound. Like, I feel like nowadays, it's easy to discern between Destroy Lonely and Ken Carson. 2 years ago, maybe more, it was really hard to tell them apart, but now I feel like it's so easy to do so because they sound so different, but they're obviously smashing their lane. Some tracks that I thought like were really to kind of keep a note on that I really enjoyed on If Looks Could Kill were definitely Which One, I'd say, All the Time, Biggest Problem, New, and of course the last track with Ken Carson, which is called Money and Sex. But there's too many on there, to be honest. I think the first 5 tracks are already bangers. From what I could check on flipping my Apple Music, I'm pretty sure the first 5 already have stars next to them. So there's the ones that most people have rated to be the highest, or the ones that have been played back the most from most people around the world are the first 3, which is How You Feel, If Looks Could Kill, Fly Shit, Which One, and Raver. Obviously, Raver being the kind of standout one for me anyway, personally. But honestly, the album is absolutely stacked. Please check it out if you haven't already. I really have enjoyed it. And there's a small clip actually I'm going to play, courtesy of Complex, which features Ken Carson actually, and what's his face, Destroy Lonely, talking about some of their goats and worst and woats in terms of clothing and shoes and shit. I thought this exchange was kind of cool. And the funny thing as well about it, I think this is Ken Carson's hand. Look at these kids, how amazing they are now, these younger generation. Look, he's got an incredible manicure done. His nails are absolutely shining. They look in prim proper shape. They take care of themselves. They both look like they smell like Comme des Garçons fragrances and shit. And they're talking about Rick Owens and expensive clothes. So clearly I'm going to be a fan of it. So check this out. This is Destroy Lonely and Ken Carson, Goat Talk, courtesy of Complex. Come on, brother. Load for me, load for me, load for me. Oh, it's doing me the wait sign. See, too many tabs to open, brother. Too many tabs to open. Maybe I gotta kill this one and kind of come back at it. Exit pages. Come on, give me the old dinosaur sign, and then we can refresh this. But this is a pretty decent one. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Too many names to mention. There's too much swag, man. Too much goat talk going on. Had to refresh the thing. You feel me? Had to refresh the thing. Too much goat talk going on. Let's just rewind this and get this back on top again and see Wagwan. Bear with me a second here. There you go. Okay, let's get the sound going. Bear with me a sec, boom. And let's fast forward it over to the bit where they're talking about the boots and shit. I think it's around here. Maybe it's around 4 minutes. It should be. There you go. There you go. It's around here. Where is it? Probably around 4 minutes or 3. There, it should be around here, I think. I think so. It should be around here. Yeah, let's do this. Boom.
Bruh, it's endlessly funny.
I like regular show. That shit just like, I don't know, it's some... We was just watching that shit. Boondocks.
Shit crazy. You know we feel like pulling the card. You skipped that one?
Wait, hold on. Fuck no. Hell nah.
Goat shoes?
Number one goat shoe, I say any boot, black Balenci boot, black Rick boot, whatever. Boots.
I agree with that. And if
I also agree with that.
I am wearing sneakers, it would be Air Force Ones, because it's like just white shoes, you know.
I also agree with that. Balenciaga and Rick Owens do make the best boots, and there's no defeating the quintessential Air Force One. It's the universal swag shoe of choice. Regardless of what outfit you've got on, what look you're trying to purport to put out there, an Air Force One in all white is going to make any look amazing. Any look. Unless you have zero swag. But if you're after some boots, definitely Rick Owens and Balenciaga make the best ones. Rick Owens for definitely more of the, tighter but chunkier silhouettes, maybe a little bit more sleeker towards the shaft. But if you want a classic, army inspired boot that isn't too crazy looking, has that nice good flat outsole, great shape, chunky and bulky sole, gives you a couple of extra inches if you're short, Balenciaga definitely is the way to go, in my humble opinion.
Go athlete. You gotta answer that. I don't even watch sports.
Goat athlete? I think Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's hard. He on some lit shit. That's
I feel like everybody know who that is, whether you even seen him play a soccer game or not.
For sure. I don't fucking watch sports, but I agree with him on that.
Kids that don't watch sports always flipping bug me out. Legitimately bug me out. Like, imagine not watching sports, like day to day as a kid. Like, and I feel like nowadays the kids are way more. They feel way more chill, and they don't feel less inadequate to actually say that, especially dudes. I feel like before, especially in my generation, if you said you didn't watch sports, people legitimately would start calling you the F word. Yeah, do you know what I mean? They'll start questioning your sexuality if you didn't watch sports, because it kind of was like one of the main parts of growing up. But now looking back at it, a lot of the friends I grew up with who watched sports would basically lie. They didn't really care about sports. They just cared about hanging out with their friends. And if all your friends are going to watch football, going to play football, you're just going to pretend that you like it just so you can hang out. So I like that these kids are way more confident to say, you know what? I just don't like sports. And not for me, not interested in the slightest. I do my own thing, but you could kind of miss me with basketball games, miss me with football games. I don't give a fuck. I think that's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. So big up Destroy Lonely and Ken Carson. The whole interview is available obviously on Combat. It's not going to play the whole thing, but you can check it out. It's a good little segment called Goat Talk that they kind of put together, and obviously they're having some cool fun. And also it's good to see, because they're label mates, but they're also kind of appealing to a similar demographic. I feel like it's just kind of swaggy to see that they're friends and that they're chill and cool. I think that that's the ultimate kind of sign that Opium is doing well, and that these kids have got a good shoulders on their heads, that they're really, really, really similar, but they're also very, very different in terms of their sound, in terms of their personality, and they're clearly not on some kind of weirdo shit. They're like, they don't mind hanging out and being cool. I love that. I really love that about them. So big up those two. Absolutely smashing it. Moving on from that, let's talk about a little bit concerning The Weeknd and Lily-Rose Depp. So The Weeknd and Lily-Rose Depp did an amazing cover story and interview with W Magazine, one of the last great magazines out there, for the pop issue. And unfortunately for me, being a big Weeknd fan, he announced via this interview they did with W that most likely he's looking to retire the artist, you know, formerly known as flipping The Weeknd. That moniker, that artist, that character, he's going to put it to bed very soon. And in his words, actually going to kill it. He's going to kill it, which is absolutely disturbing and really kind of filled me with dread. But I understand that that journey and that story has kind of been run its course. There's only so many suits one man can buy. There's only so many little Michael Jackson, James Brown shuffles you can do. Maybe he's on some other thing and he wants to kind of pivot away from it. And I completely understand it. The one thing that was kind of concerning though, watching or checking out some of the clips and the pictures from this W Magazine cover story featuring Lily-Rose Depp and The Weeknd, of course, to promote that new series called The Idol coming out on HBO soon, is the fact that it looks like The Weeknd might have got some work done. Is it me? My boy Abel might have got a little bit of filler put in his chin, and I only know that because I'm on social media a lot more, especially following these certain accounts, and it looks like his jawline is way more defined than it ever was in the past. Now, it could be that he's just been working out a bunch, but it looks like he might have got some really subtle, subtle work done. The kind of work that you can't spot, like the really small bits and pieces that make you look amazing, like similar to like what's her name? The Hadid, the model one, where you just get little stuff done, like you take off the little bump on your nose, you maybe pull a little bit on your eye, just tiny things, just to kind of improve the already amazing base that you have. Because, you know, clearly Abel, The Weeknd, you know, is not a bad looking dude. So if he does get a tiny bit of filler just to kind of make the chin look like a bit of one of those, like, you know, meme Chad Bro type of things, it probably sits well. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe it's a thing, maybe it isn't. I don't really care. I still love The Weeknd. He's my fucking guy. I've been following him since the mixtape days. It's been pretty sick to see his journey going from the mixtape artist all the way to being one of the biggest pop stars in the world, or the biggest pop star in the world. And I love his evolution in terms of the albums and challenging people like myself to kind of, you know, get with it or go home. So let's read the article. We're going to skip the first opening paragraph because it's usually filler. Go straight to the second paragraph of W Magazine. It says here, as a trailer of The Idol was projected onto the huge sci-fi screens, Deb rehearsed her lines with Levison. She was wearing a diaphanous white dress with her blonde hair and a loose updo. Depp's large eyes and the exquisite bone structure of a model, but as Jocelyn, she said she applied heavy eye makeup and exaggerated lip liner, which gave her face a mask-like quality. I was nervous wreck, Depp said, when I spoke to her later. I was praying to all the guardian angels, all the Nepo baby guardian angels. Hey, Lily, eh? I knew we only had 2 takes at SoFi. I felt like I was going to my wedding. I was all dolled up and in white. Depp finally worked up the courage to introduce Tedros. This is the love of my life, the man who pulled me through the darkest hours and into the light. She told the fans as Testify came out of a huge uproar. Despite her nerves, Depp was intoxicated by the power of being in front of a stadium full of adoring people. It was quite addicting, she said. I didn't want to leave. You see an amazing picture here of The Weeknd holding a cool little VCR camera. Love that for him. What's he wearing? He's wearing Saint Laurent. And Lily-Rose is wearing Chanel haute couture. I love that whenever they put Lily-Rose in Chanel, she's always lying on the floor or lying on things. They don't ever want to stand up because she's so tiny. Like, I think she might be like under 5 foot, but they always want to like kind of exaggerate her length and have her like, you know, splayed on the floor, standing on something, lying on something. It's like, come on, man, let the girl live a little bit. But hey, what do I know? It continues here. It says, Testify, meanwhile, was experiencing a kind of a breakdown. His 2 characters do not look alike. The Weeknd wears sleek black suits, while Tedros has a rat tail and usually sports shiny 70s style half-buttoned shirts with an aviator sunglasses. I had to take off The Weeknd's outfit, put on Tedros' wig, shoot with Jocelyn, and then go back to being The Weeknd, he told me later. It was tough to go from one to another. It's funny that he's saying this because most likely we're going to watch this series, all of us, myself included, and we're just going to see Abel / The Weeknd performing, or acting. We're not going to see Abel the actor performing. It's very unlikely because, he hasn't done much acting anyway. So it's very unlikely he's going to come out and smash this the first time around. The only thing that's given me a little bit of pause on that is that it's HBO. And HBO don't miss when it comes to TV series. So if they're putting money behind this, I'm assuming that Lily-Rose Depp and The Weeknd are going to surprise us all with incredible performances out of the gate. Let's see. But I love that he's saying it's method acting. He was confused by the two. He continues here. It was tough to go from one head to another. Then after the concert, I lost my voice. No voice came out at all. That's never happened before. My theory is that I forgot how to sing. Wow. I forgot how to sing because I was playing Tedros, a character who doesn't know how to sing. Amazing. I may be looking too deeply into this, but it was terrifying. As a Weeknd, I've never skipped a concert. I've performed with the flu. I'll die on that stage. But there was something very complicated about going on with my mind at the moment. You know what's funny as well about The Weeknd? There was a time growing up, and I know this because I'm a Weeknd stan, where there was a conversation people were having between who would you rather pick, Frank Ocean or The Weeknd? And obviously over time, The Weeknd's gone in a different direction sonically, but just career-wise, he's on a whole nother planet. But look at the difference in kind of attitude to performing, right? Like he kind of brags. He brags at the fact that he never has to skip a concert. Not a show, a concert. Never skipped it. He says, I performed with the flu. I'll die on that stage, which is the complete opposite of Frank Ocean. If the vibes aren't right? If he hasn't got enough sage, he's not performing. Or if he does perform, he'll make you know that he doesn't want to be there by turning up in these pajamas. Very expensive pajamas, but pajamas nonetheless. It continues here. Tesfaye's identity crisis was about more than juggling two characters in one night. He says, I'm going through a cathartic path right now. It's getting to a place in a time where I'm ready to close the Weeknd chapter. You hear this, Weeknd fans? He says it's getting to a place and a time where I'm getting close to closing the Weeknd chapter. Damn it, man. Damn it. I'm pissed. Selfish as a fan, I'm pissed because I love that sound. I love that synth. I love that synth pop, indie dance, new disco sound that he kind of has popularized and made his own. And I just want more of it. More. And the fact that fucking The Weeknd, Tory Lanez is in prison now and most likely going to get sentenced to more than 22 years. His recent album that he put out was absolutely incredible. It kind of played along that sort of theme. And I thought maybe as an artist, he could have explored that way more. But I'd imagine after doing 6 years in prison, the last thing you want to do is start singing like Take Your Love Away or whatever. I mean, you don't want to be bopping and doing your Michael Jackson shuffle in a dance floor. So he's probably going to come out sounding like fucking West Side Gun. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. But anyway, continuing on, he says, I'll still make music, maybe as Abel, maybe as a Weeknd, but I'll still want to kill the Weeknd, and I will, eventually. I'm definitely trying to shed that skin and reborn. There's no doubt in my mind that the Weeknd's still going to make music. He's just going to have a different moniker, but he's definitely not going to quit. No way, I don't see that, because he loves performing. You can tell he enjoys being an artist. Like putting together a song, crafting it, and then presenting it to the world, and then having a chance to perform it. He fucking loves it. So I don't think he's going to quit that anytime soon. But it's just a bit sad to hear that he's giving up the Weeknd moniker. It continues. He says, more than a year ago, before the sci-fi show, Depp was asked to audition for the role of Jocelyn. See, that's Nepo baby shit. Asked to perform. Asked to audition. Amazing. I gotta love Lily-Rose Depp. She was arguing against being a Nepo baby, but this is the most Nepo baby thing I've seen in my life. It continues, says, I never thought I would get the part, alright. She said, calling from Prague, where she was on set for a new film called Nosferatu, in which she plays the disciple of Dracula, another sinister but seductive man. I knew there will be many lovely ladies who are more musical than me, but I thought I'll give it a go. Depp borrowed a tight pink satin skirt and a purple tank top from her mother, Vanessa Paradis, a former French singer and model and actor. Her father, a fan's certainty knows Johnny Depp. I wanted to wear a pop star color, she said, and I wanted to channel a certain LA feeling. I grew up in LA. I'm an LA girl, and so is Jocelyn. I wanted to capture the style, the mix of mischief and shine. I'm curious. of the girls that got turned down for this, especially other famous actresses or actors, I wonder, or maybe other people just turned it down because this features able. I wonder if you're a big actress. Imagine if you're like a Scarlett Johansson, would you take? No, she probably isn't a good example because she's a little bit too old for this role. But if you're, I don't know who you could name, but I wonder if you're a certain actor of a certain ilk, maybe being associated with a first-time actor in The Weeknd in this type of series is a little bit too risky. So you're like, you know what? If this goes badly, this is gonna be a mark this is gonna be like a black cloud over my head, so I'm gonna just not do it. Or maybe Lily-Rose Depp is legitimately a really good actor and she smashed the auditions and she got the place by merit, which, you know, is doubtful because she got the audition off the back of being who she is. So, you know, who knows? But I'm curious to see it. I'm open. Really cool picture here featuring The Weeknd wearing Prada and a David Human necklace and a Cartier watch. Love that for him. Not a fan of the knit with no undershirt. Maybe my nipples are a little bit too sensitive, but that'll cause rashes and shit and will just make me feel a little bit frisky. So not for me personally. Carry on here. You got The Weeknd in a nice Saint Laurent overcoat, looking absolutely fantastic. Lily-Rose here. What's she wearing there? She's wearing Strappelelli, couture, Maison Margiela shoes. And the next one is a flipping Loewe jacket. That might be the same Loewe jacket that, what's his name? That Rihanna was wearing, actually. Rihanna was pictured, you know, pregnant style with A$AP Rocky. And I think she had a similar fur coat to this. So big up her. And of course, a Mickey Moto earrings. It continues here, says the closest real life twin to Jocelyn is probably Britney Spears. But Depp also saw shades of cinematic femmes fatales like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct and Jean Moreau in Jules and Gin. Of course I'm a Britney fan, Depp said. What doesn't love Britney? But I was also thinking about Beyonce, Mariah, and every huge pop star of our time. I wanted Jocelyn to be a kind of woman who can dominate a room, someone who doesn't even shy away from their sparkle. For her audition, Depp said that she had to sing a cappella. And I thought, here's where I don't get called back. She sang a minute of Fever. I was going through the casting tapes and Lily-Rose immediately stood out, says Ashley Levinson, Sam's wife and executive producer of Idol. She has that kind of vulnerability and strength that was crucial for the character. To guarantee that Depp would click with Testify, Sam Levinson... This is funny, the chemistry test. I wonder what the chemistry test is. You two go into that room and just start touching each other, or like dating in the dark. We're going to turn off all the lights in this room and you're going to be in each corner. Then you're going to meet each other in the middle and just go for it. You know, just gonna go for it in the middle of the room. I wonder what the chemistry test is in acting. Anyway, it continues here. Sam Levinson insisted on the chemistry test. The quote says, we had met socially, but I didn't know him, Depp recalled. Abel is so warm and friendly, but I was very nervous about the chemistry read because I really wanted the part. Like all my favorite on-screen couples, Jocelyn and Tedros complemented each other in the most dangerous way. They had that push and pull connection, sort of like Blueface and Kreuzberg, right? It continues here. It says, after she got the part, when Levinson was on board to direct, Depp decided to dye her hair. Jocelyn could be good, she could be evil. You never know. I grew up watching older films, especially French films. Women like Brigitte Bardot have beauty mixed with I don't give a fuck energy. I wanted that feeling for Jocelyn. Okay. Look at Lily-Rose Depp doing her homework. Brigitte Bardot. I didn't know she knew who Brigitte Bardot is. It's pretty sick. Interestingly, Jocelyn says here was not always blonde. The character evolved considerably over time. In fact, the current version of the series, which will air on June 4th, is a reshoot and a reinvention of the entire first season. They reshot the entire first season. Oh, this isn't looking good, bro. This isn't looking good. Jesus Christ. Testify. Abel says that he would come up with the original premise for the show with his production manager or partner, called Reza Fahim. Abel came to us with a pitch. He said something that I always remember. If I wanted to start a cult, I could. Which is very true. He definitely could. What he meant was that his fans were so loyal and devoted that they would follow him anywhere. And that was a germ of the idea of the idol, which happens when a pop star falls for the wrong guy and no one speaks up. Lily-Rose Depp there. Good pictures. Look at that. Oh, this picture's fucking amazing with The Weeknd. He's sitting down in front of screens that show different bits of Lily-Rose, you know, blowing kisses and shit on these VCR monitor type things that he's probably looking over. But the main thing that I like are these shoes. I know a lot of you won't be fans of them, but to me, these are fucking amazing. These, I'm pretty sure, are Loewe. So big up Jonathan Anderson. I'm pretty sure their current season, maybe from fall winter 2023 or the recent one, they look amazing. They're essentially like pumps that have got this amazing sock liner. Sorry, they've got this amazing fur type of sock thing that goes over the top. Kind of remind me of like a really upmarket pair of Uggs or something. These look incredible. I'm a big fan of those. It continues here, says, after the meeting with Tesfaye, Levinson was so excited that he couldn't sleep. 2 days later, he had an outline for the show that could be a week later. He wrote the whole script for the pilot. HBO immediately said yes. They immediately said yes because Levinson was busy with the second season of Euphoria. He and Tesfaye and Fahim chose a different team to direct the work for Idol. After seeing what they created, Tesfaye decided to pivot. Reportedly, the emotional tango between Tedros and Jocelyn was not as complex as what he and Levinson had envisioned. If that core relationship didn't work, the show would not be good at all. Film and TV is a new creative muscle for me, says Tesfaye. I don't release any music until I think it's great. Why would this be any different? Okay, so he redid the first season because it wasn't complex enough. It wasn't layered enough. It didn't ask enough questions. It didn't push the audience enough. Didn't tell enough of an interesting story. That's kind of comforting, I think. It continues, says Tesfaye, or Tesfaye. I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I'm pretty sure. Tesfaye has a calm demeanor. He's very polite and soft-spoken, but he has an undercurrent of steely determination. I like when all the odds are against me, he said. I've always been an underdog. In the beginning, the music business was not easy. I had to fight to get to the top of the mountain. Throughout the process of bringing the Idol to life, Levinson and Tesfaye became close. Sam followed me to Coachella. He said he stayed in the background, but he watched how I moved and what it was like for me. Sam understood something crucial about how to create this show. After seeing the first version of the Idol, Tesfaye invited Levinson over to his house in Bel Air. Quitting the show wasn't an option for Abel or me. It was a dream that we had together and we would see it through. If we were going to reshoot from the beginning, I knew it had to be for less money. Sitting in Abel's house, looking around the 400 square feet, I said, it's stunning here. You could buy a production design studio like this. What if we shoot it in here? Abel put down his drink and said, do you have insurance? He said, yes. And I said, I'm okay with that. So they shot some of the series in his house. I need to see what this house looks like. Look at these shoots. They look incredible, man. Wow, I love all of it, to be fair. More shoots. I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's kind of long. But yeah, let me see. What does the Weeknd's house look like? Let's see this. The Weeknd Bel Air home. What does this look like? I'm curious, bro. They shot an entire series of a show. Oh, there we go. I actually checked it out before. Damn it, man. There we go, from Architectural Digest. I actually visited this link before, hence why it's in the purple. I had no idea. I didn't remember this. Maybe it was just too many amazing houses to mention. Ooh, look at that. It looks like a pimp's house, doesn't it? It looks like a playboy's house. Like, this is amazing. It's got that. Oh, it actually looks like the house from Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Is it the same house? It's got the same type of what you call it? How do you call those things that go up to the house? Is it called stairs? Or there's a term for it, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, it looks very similar to how it is on a Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Obviously the door will be closer, but wow. It's got an amazing swimming pool. There's probably a gym down there, 17 bedrooms. That's fucking incredible. R&B superstar here, courtesy of Architectural Digest. R&B superstar has purchased a Bel Air mansion for 70 million. 7 million, 70. 70 big ones. Wow. That's crazy. The home measures approximately 33,000 square feet and packs quite a lot within it. There's a gym, movie theater, music studio, sauna, hammer, indoor pool. Among the offerings on the inside, there's exterior boasts a sports court, an infinity pool with a waterfall, dramatic split staircase leading up to the upper patio. That's it. It's a staircase, split staircase. The purchase comes just months after Blind Night Star sold his former home to Madonna. Oh, look at the inside of it, man. God damn, this looks amazing. Really nice home. So yeah, big up Abel, big up Lily-Rose Depp. We will see when that series drops, if it's good or not. We will see when that series drops, if it's good or not. Moving on from that, we have news here courtesy of Stussy. Stussy have just released their spring, summer 2023 lookbook, specifically their Stussy Summer 2023 lookbook, and it's absolutely flames, but it's also concerning because it looks like jorts are here to stay, and I'm pissed because I fucking hate them. So this is courtesy of Stussy. It's a feature on there. You can check it out yourself, and you see some of the looks regarding their new summer 23 collection. And the first thing that comes to mind when I saw the second look here in the middle are these jorts, which all the kids seem to be on. If you see a kid out there under the age of like 25, if they're not wearing Arc'teryx and, you know, Solomon shoes, the next thing they're wearing are fucking jorts, which are these big, you know, baggy denim shorts that basically go over your knees and look like you're from the 80s or from the 90s. For me, in my opinion, they look absolutely horrible, especially when you think about the silhouettes and the sizes of clothes nowadays. They just look really out of place and really flipping crazy. And to be honest, they look really dated. Like, it looks like the kind of thing where if you look at yourself in terms of fits, you know, 2 years hence, wearing these type of things, you're going to be really grossed out and kind of unnerved that you put these things on. But I legitimately hate jorts. There's nothing more I hate than fucking jorts. When I see looks like this, specifically, the first thing I think about is that this kid probably listens to NTS. He probably rolls up his own cigarettes. He probably wears white socks with everything. Probably has really dirty fingernails. What else I can think of? He probably has, you know, 17 of the same Carhartt jackets. You know, what else I can think of here? If he's got a girlfriend, she probably wears Air Maxes and has unnecessarily long acrylic nails. You know, that kind of person. That's who I think who wear jorts. It's just not for me. Maybe I've been aged out of them or whatever it may be, but if I'm wearing denim shorts, I'd much rather wear denim shorts where they come above the knee, or denim shorts that they feel like they fit. You know, they don't look baggy. I don't necessarily understand the need to have shorts. Like, when I want to wear baggy shorts, I want them to look like basketball shorts. I don't want basketball shorts of denim. I don't want denim basketball shorts. That sounds like a nightmare to me. So the jorts thing, I'm absolutely over, and I hate it more than ever. The looks that I do like, actually, that I am fond of are, unfortunately, one of the looks here with the flipping camo shorts, because I feel like a good pair of camo shorts is a mainstay in most people's wardrobe. And I think of the times when I used to go to flipping hardcore shows and shit. One of the things that all the guys used to always wear back then were were sort of camo cargo shorts and band t-shirts and Jordans, or like Vans. That used to be the quintessential look for a guy that was into metal, for a guy that was into hardcore. You see them at shows with those going on. So I do like that kind of, you know, resemblance back onto that. And another thing that I also like is this jacket, which I feel like is going to be incredibly popular. You can't really see the detail of it too tough in this picture, but essentially it's got a Stussy logo here on the front, a really nice simple design with some concealed hidden pockets here diagonally on the front. And whatever the texture is on this jacket, it feels like it's been over dyed, or maybe it's been washed. I'm not really too sure, but it looks amazing. And of course, they've got the model who does the stuff for Denim Tears. He always looks really good in clothes and sells them pretty well. But look at those jorts. Look how terrible those, like, the upper looks amazing, right? He looks great. Everything looks cool. The cane rolls are tight. The beard has been bearded. The jacket looks great. But then you scroll down and you see these salmon jorts. The salmon jorts are terrible. The shoes are even nice. The socks are too. But these massive dyke jean shorts are not for me. I fucking hate them. Legitimately hate them. I want to burn them all in hell. I hate jorts so much. Continuing on, another look that I really did like. Again, you see the same jacket. So it comes in the blue. So whatever that over dye material is that they've got on the jacket is on there. For sure, this is going to be two of the items that are going to sell out insanely quickly. These jackets. And again, look at these baggy shorts. These baggy shorts look way better in that shape and that length, because they're like, you know, typical, what looks like to me, material that you'd wear when you're wearing a basketball jersey. I think it's like polyester. I forgot the actual material. It's kind of shiny. This makes more sense. And they've also got the kind of classic old school 80s logo of Stussy with the guy with the surfboard, the original kind of Sean Stussy designs. I'm not too sure if those shoes are a Stussy collaboration also, but I like the look of them. And then we've got another look also that I like. I'm going to feature here. Let me scroll around. Oh, I do like this as well. This piece. Again, look at the jorts. Look how disgusting they look. Look. Horrible. This look on the upper, you got this crochet looking polo top. I feel looks amazing. This crochet polo top is really beautiful, and I'm sure it'll come in different colors, and it's really versatile because if you want to wear it in a somewhat streetwear type of way, you'd wear it baggy, maybe your size or a size above with a shirt underneath. If you want to give it a little bit of a Berlin queer LGBTQ tint and tilt, a little bit of a Howl Inferno tilt, you just, wear it maybe a size down and take off the undershirt so you can expose the nipple a little bit, show people the abdomen and show people what you're really working with underneath, show a little bit of those Instagram tattoos underneath, you know what I mean? So I like that crochet top. I think that looks absolutely incredible. Big fan of that. They've got the boots there in this look, which looks decent enough in this lady. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really too mad at that. This jumper looks amazing. You can't really see it from the picture, but essentially it's been there's like a tonal Stussy logo here on this nice knit jumper. This is really nice. So I feel like this, if you want to, still have a sprinkling of streetwear when you're going on your little smart casual jaunts to work, this is definitely a look that's going to really work the good way. Got some nice lace up 1460 Dr. Martens there with some nice pants. And then, of course, you got the same pants here, which I'm a good fan of. 2-dye. Looks like they've been, again, over-dyed maybe, or maybe bleached. Again, with the massive shorts. Look how goofy and horrible this looks. This guy definitely looks like he's going to steal your wallet, innit? You got sandals on and, long baggy shorts with cargo pockets on it and a jumper. This definitely looks like a guy that's either going to try and ask you to invest in his hard seltzer brand, or he's going to steal your wallet. You got another one here, nice cargo look there. And then I think there's another look that I wanted to highlight that I liked. Again, that jacket is going to sell out. There we go, with the Stussy on the back. That's definitely going to do bits and numbers. And I think there was another look here. Oh, that's the one. I think it's this one. This look that I really liked also. One of my favorite looks with this pinstripe shirt here and this nice pair of cargo pants and great trainers. Like, this looks amazing. And of course, the crochet top. Look at that. Look how amazing that looks. That crochet top is great because in black, that's a top that goes well in Berghain. In this kind of lime color with no shirt underneath, that goes well in Panorama Bar. Super versatile. I love the look of it personally. Can be styled really, really great. And of course, this look also with the over-dyed or sunburnt pants again. This time in that salmon creamy colorway with some Timberlands or whatnot. That looks really cool. So yeah, big fan of it. The only thing I don't like are the jorts. The jorts can go to hell. And also this look, right? I swear. Anyone that wears a short sleeve hoodie, you deserve to be thrown off a bridge. There's no place where you need a short sleeve hoodie in my entire life. I don't get it. Either have a hoodie or don't. But a short sleeve hoodie is absolutely weird. But I do like the combats. The combats look pretty decent. So big up them or the cargos. Yeah, but so far so good. When it comes to Stussy Summer 2023, I'm sure a lot of it's going to do really well. And people are going to be all over it. When it eventually drops, they're going to be all over it, mate. They're going to be all over it. I guarantee that. And it's going to be available. Actually, no, let me give you the dates. Actually, I forgot to give you the dates. The dates here for North America release, May 12th, 10 a.m. PST, UK, May 12th, 10 a.m. GMT, and Europe, May 12th, 10 a.m. CET, Japan and Korea, May 12th, 10 a.m. JST. You can check it out at stussy.com. Moving on from that one, we've got news here courtesy of Supreme. Supreme have decided to do a really cool collection with Clarks, mate. That's the thing that's absolutely crazy. They've got this great collection with Clarks, and I wonder if it's just the shoes or if the clothing is involved too, because the clothing looks absolutely smashing. I swear to God. I swear to God, it looks amazing. So this is courtesy of Supreme. It says Supreme Clarks Original. This spring, Supreme has worked with Clarks Original on a custom version of the Wallaby. I love that. Custom, bespoke, done only for Supreme. You're not going to get this anywhere soon. Says here, the shoe features a premium suede upper with a plique pattern, leather lining, love that, and natural crepe sole. Made exclusive for Supreme, the Wallabies will be offered in 3 colorways, available May 11th and available in Japan May 13th. Now, tell me without telling me that the look with the clothes looks amazing. I'm sure this is probably mainline, but God almighty, this look here with the red and the yellow hoodie with the same sort of pattern on the Wallabies. Ooh, this looks fire. It's like these cutouts they have on the top of them. They look so fucking good. And the only thing I hate about Wallabies, personally, I've owned too many of them, is that if you wear them too often, the soles give out really quickly. Crepe soles. Especially if you walk weird, you end up with a slant on the back of your heels and they just look really busted. So if you buy a pair of Wallabies nowadays, I feel like you've got to maybe have a good rotation of them in your wardrobe. Or I guess there's also an option if you want to. I'm guessing if you want, you could probably go to a cobbler and get the bottom of the crepe sole kind of reinforced, maybe with a really, really thin outsole. So that you wouldn't waste away the crepe sort of way. But quite, you know, part of the luxury or part of the niceness of wearing a Wallaby is that you get that kind of soft bounce. So I'm not really too sure. Actually, looking at the picture here, the second picture, I feel like this clothing is like specifically made for the Clarks collaboration because it's got the same pattern that the shoes have on the clothes. And it's sort of like, you know, this amazing patch that they put over it. It looks amazing. I love it. Or this applique basically. It looks really great. So I think it's actually a custom footwear. So that'll be a first. I've not really heard of Clarks making clothes. So this might be a bit of a first in this one. Like, look at this. Look, this is me all over. Look at this. And again, whoever's doing the photography and the styling for Supreme nowadays, give yourself a round of applause. I feel like it looks a lot more natural, a lot more lifestyle-y. There's not the constant need to always have some sweaty dude doing a heel flip over a rail. It's just nice lifestyle stuff that kind of gets it across really well. They've got at the back a little bit of Dragon Stout. If you're from Ends, you know. If you live in Ends, if you're actually from the hood, you know what Dragon Stout is. You know what Dragon Stout beer is. You know who drinks it. Big up my man them. Wagwan. Beer can. You know the vibes. But yeah, look at this. This looks so cool. You got this guy with his pants sagged, wearing the Clarks Wallabies, and his face kind of hidden behind a brush. That's a really great picture, to be honest. That's a picture that you'd see hung somewhere in like the, you know, in the flipping Barbican or whatever, right? Whitechapel Gallery, they'd have this hung somewhere. And again, look at this nice look again. The red and orange ones are definitely the standouts. These are definitely for me the standouts. That they look so good. Look at Supreme models having diamond rings. Things have changed, isn't it? Jesus Christos. Back in the day, they'd be wearing Casio watches. Now they're wearing diamond rings. But these look so good. Look at those shoes. Ooh! These look fucking sexy, yo. I'm not gonna lie, the red and orange, they look so nice. Oh, look at those bad boys. Red and orange bombers, and it's got a little Supreme hit there around the back, a little bit of a Supreme emboss, so you can remind people on road that these aren't some regular Clarks that you get from fucking you know, Oxford Street. These aren't Clarks with the Clarks with the fur. You know that song, right? Clarks, right? You know that song? Do you know that song? That song, Clark song. What is it called? Let me get this up on it. That Clark song is absolutely legendary. Who is it again? Is it Buju Banter? Oh, Vibes Cartel. Oh, it's Vibes Cartel. Shit. It's a Vibes Cartel song. You guys remember that, right? Clarks in the fur. Let me get it. See how I get up. It's this one. Oh. Big up. These look fucking incredible. I love them. Orange. The red and orange, whatever colors you got here. You got the black with the white contrast stitching. Ooh, fire again. God damn it, these look hard. And what else you got? Oh, and then you got the classic cream sort of colorway. Oh, these look so good. But for me, the red and the orange ones are definitely the standouts. The red and the orange with the full suit. Oh, look at that, mate. Everyone's auntie's getting juked. Everyone's auntie's getting juked. Know what I mean? You wear the red and orange ones. Everyone's auntie's getting juked. Auntie me thirsty. Auntie me thirsty. Look at that, man. Me thirsty, auntie. Me thirsty. Big up Supreme. Big up this Clark collaboration. Absolutely incredible. Love everything about it. Definitely want the clothes. Maybe more than the actual the shoes. But I think this look is absolute god tier. I'm not gonna lie, this look is absolutely god tier, man. Fucking hell, man. Fucking hell. But yeah, big up Supreme. Cop them if you're ready, if you want, if you got the monies. If you're not, then cry into your pillow. No one cares. Cry into your blood clot pillow. Moving on from that one, let's talk about this. So, this is an interview courtesy of the one and only Throwing Fits podcast, and they featured this girl called Brenda Hashtag, who is now going by Brenda Weischer. Please forgive me for lack of pronunciation. A lady from Germany, obviously, specifically from Berlin, who is a little bit of an influencer style icon over there on the social media platforms and stuff. I kind of found her randomly, I think on Instagram, because I remember just seeing, oh, who's this girl that's always wearing all black? That looks like an absolute ghost and stuff. Like, why go on for this? She's always wearing all black or all white. That's her entire wardrobe. I think she's even got this really funny picture of her wardrobe in her house, and it's just like a massive rail, and one side is black and one side is white. That's all she wears. It's pretty crazy. So I checked her out and stuff and saw her, you know, because it's kind of surprising to see like somebody from Berlin who's actually got legit style and doesn't just look like they shop, you know, 100% in flipping flea markets, or they look like they don't live in a fucking ashtray, or they don't look like they live in an apartment where they sleep on a pallet, and, you know, and they carry around a book, you know, they carry around a copy of like the gay science they've never finished, you know. They kind of rant and rave about postmodernism. They ruin the vibe at the afters by flipping putting on some fucking lecture in the middle of you flipping racking up lines. You know, that kind of person, right? Zero swag, zero style. But she obviously stood out a little bit because she actually dresses pretty nicely and actually wears luxury brands and clearly wears them, buys them, sells them, styles them and shit. So it's pretty cool to see. Anyway, she can be a little bit annoying. She's got a little things that's kind of annoying. One thing being that she does not waste an opportunity to tell you she went to St. Martin's. I went to Central St. Martin's, right? I studied at, you know, Central St. Martin's, this illustrious design school here in London. I did product design. I'm very good at doing that sort of thing. I haven't obviously, you know, taken it up as a career clearly, hence why I'm talking to you through a fucking iPhone. But, you know, it is what it is. You go to the university, it's cool, it's sick, but after a while, especially in your adult age, it's not really something to kind of flex on too much because you're kind of creating your own history by the work that you're doing in real time. No one really cares what college you went to, really, for the sake of it. I could have learned that shit in Open University. I could have learned that shit, you know, via YouTube, and it would have been the same results, really and truly. Even though not really, because I probably didn't put my best attitude forward when I was doing the course. When I went there, you know, especially when I was doing, you know, product design at St. Martin's, all of the students, most of the students in my class were from Asia, specifically South Korea, actually, which was weird. I think the year that I went to uni, everyone from like South Korea who was working at fucking Samsung and shit went to university. So again, these people were like in the mid-20s at the time. They went back to uni to get extra qualifications. Imagine that. I was fresh out of college, 18 years old. I didn't even take a foundation to go into St. Martin's. I went straight in for my sixth form with my graphic design folder and got into the flipping degree course. And then I'm competing, quote unquote, in the same class as like guys and women with children and shit who worked for Samsung back at South Korea, or like a design studio back there, or in Japan and shit, and they're now kind of working alongside me when doing the same brief. So when I'm kind of presenting my shitty sketches with my hairy lines, and they have these amazing draft drawings that come from books and shit that look like they've been flipping, you know, done in CAD, but it's all from freehand, I'm standing there thinking, so my Central St. Martin's experience wasn't the greatest. So when I hear somebody, you know, bragging about Central St. Martin's all the time, especially somebody who's achieved as much as this girl has in the short space of time on social media, it's a little bit weird. But to be honest as well, a little bit of self-reflection. Part of the reason why she is successful, especially in her field, way more than I am, is because she's able to do that self-marketing, self-speak, right? They're like, you know, your little 5-minute elevator pitch thing. I've got, you know, what's she got? She's got like an archive store where you sell, you know, luxury brands and stuff and collections and pieces from yesteryears. I just pop in Instagram, creative consultant. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a stylist. All these type of things. That you got to have these pictures that you throw out. Central St. Martin's, blah, blah, blah. And obviously the aesthetic is definitely striking. You'd notice that from afar. So as much as I can rag on her for like mentioning St. Martin's way too often, I also feel like she's definitely clued on and definitely a smart girl. Anyway, long story, less long. She had an interview with Throwing Fits where she dropped a couple of gems, and these are the clips that they posted on their socials regarding them. And I'm going to play them back to back. One clip here features why she got banned from flipping Soho House in Berlin. And I know this story because I featured it in my podcast, and it was regarding Bottega Veneta doing a collection showcase in Berghain during the height of the pandemic, and flying over all these celebrities to do it, having a big party, having Virgil DJ, whilst everyone was locked down. It was really bad optics. But Brenda hashtag gives a bit of background as to what went on, and the fact that she was maybe one of the people that kind of led to the overall cancellation of Daniel Lee eventually when he got the boot from Bottega Veneta, or if you believe the PR story that he left. But this is Brenda Weischer hashtag on Throwing Fits talking about it. Let me get it up on here. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. It's loading now.
Do you know my Bottega scandal?
No, tell us.
Oh my God, I'm kicked out of Soho House for that. Daniel Lee Bottega, they flew to Berlin to shoot their show in Berghain. It was full lockdown. I started posting about it, and then it took off and it was in the national news. It becomes a whole scandal, and it was kind of part of the downfall of Daniel Lee at Bottega. This is so dark, but for example, at LVMH, after John Galliano's scandals, just put lightly, and Alexander McQueen's death, I think they're trying a lot harder to control in a positive way their creative directors, that they don't go on coke benders, or that they have security. I think at LVMH these things will not happen anymore. Creative directors like driven crazy by the amount of work, the pressure, the whatever. And at Kering, I think Daniel Lee is one of the reasons why maybe they are also, and then Balenciaga obviously, reworking how the creative directors work, how much pressure is on them, how much are they allowed to say, how much they are allowed to go off the rails. I think
so that will not break their minds.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about this is an interesting story. So she says she broke the story about Daniel Lee doing the flipping, showcase and collection thing in Berlin during the height of the pandemic. The funny thing for me, I think about this whole idea behind these big fashion groups, LVMH, Kering, deciding to rein in their creative directors. They're the ones that give the creative directors the free reign. They kind of enjoy the chaos and the madness because usually it kind of impacts their bottom line. Usually the Mavericks and the Psychos and stuff, it kind of adds to the allure of the brand. I think so anyway. It does for me, because I feel like they're a lot more human. They have a personality behind it. They're not just kind of robots that just kind of do the brand design and go home and kind of rinse and repeat. They live a life and they're sort of like imbued and ingrained in the clothes that they flip and design personally. So it's really funny in that, Daniel Lee goes all to the trouble of having his collection shown at Berghain. Then I think the last collection before he left, he showed it in Detroit because he loves techno and shit. So he went to all these places where he went to party and the excuse to probably get fucked up and shit. He did it all under the watch and approval of Kering. Then when it goes badly and the public don't react well to it, Kering suddenly pushes him to the front and kind of puts their hands up and says, nothing we could do. It wasn't our fault. It's just him. He's loose. He does what he wants. No, you approve it. You give him the flipping company card. You approve all the flipping, dancers and models being sent over, makeup artists, all that malarkey. So to kind of, absolve yourself of blame when it gets a bit sticky is a little bit gross. But I also do remember, this is the funky thing about it is that during this time when this event happened, I remember kind of Virgil getting a lot of stick. Because if I'm not mistaken, Virgil Abloh, RIP to the GOAT, and, God bless the dead, he was, if I'm not mistaken, the DJ at the event. So they host this showcase. I think a collection drop. It was basically like a show they did, but it was kind of off season. It felt like it wasn't off season. It was on season, but they hosted it in Berghain, if I'm not mistaken. And then the after party took place at the Berlin Soho House, and they flew people over. Obviously, in the screen you could see Skepta there, and they had also Virgil DJing there. The really sad thing about Virgil DJing there is that, number one, I think it was one of the best outfits that Virgil's ever worn going to one of these events. Legit. I'm trying to see it here on the flipping rub through, but it must be one of the best and most iconic Virgil Abloh outfits that he had on when he went to the flipping Berghain to do the flipping show. Let me take the sound off. Actually, let me just replay it one more time. I'm pretty sure there's a picture here of Virgil walking to the show. It's one of the most iconic. This look here with the jersey and the hat and stuff and the glasses and the jacket and the big turquoise pants. Like, this look is absolutely banging. For my American listeners or viewers or live stream, do you know what team that jersey is wearing? I have no idea what hockey team or whatever team he's wearing there, but that jersey looks incredible. The really sad thing about this bittersweet is that we thought this look was amazing. I did anyway. But if you look at it, the fact that he's concealing his hair and his face and stuff, most of the reason why is because this was when he was in the throngs of his chemotherapy. But we didn't know at the time because he kept it completely secret. Obviously, him and his family only knew, and his close friends. But he didn't reveal it to anybody. So the entire time that he was getting cancelled, number one, for the George Floyd protests and stuff, and the donations that he was making, and the fact that people didn't think it was enough, and then I think he got cancelled also because I think he made some comment about the riots and the looting, and then people were trying to cancel him because he attended the show. He went and attended a show during the height of the pandemic. He went and DJ'd at the after party, and little did we know he was flipping battling cancer and actually going through chemo. Hence why he was covered up the way he was. He covered up his face, covered up his hair, and all that malarkey. So that's the bittersweet type of side of thing of things when I kind of saw the clip overall. So R.I.P. Virgil, God bless the dead, and all that malarkey. And it was really an interesting change in ownership when it comes to Daniel Lee, because I feel like the Daniel Lee story, the funny thing about it is that the fact that this alleged story of him allegedly calling some black woman or black person in the meeting a black cunt or whatever he called them is definitely kind of swept under the rug, and people have more smoke that he did the pandemic shit, says everything about the pandemic hysteria. COVID-19 broke all of our brains to the point where people are more offended that you hosted the party during the flipping, the peak season of the pandemic and lockdown than of you potentially being racist. Racism can just chill. Oh my God, you're not wearing a mask. Oh my God, where's your vaccination card? Oh my God, you're doing a party during lockdown. Die. It's like, come on, guys, man. He allegedly called somebody a black cunt in the studio. And then he went away, came back, and he's got a job at Burberry. What the fuck is that about? That sounds about white to me, innit? That sounds about white to me, mate. That sounds about white. Anyway, next clip here featuring Brenda, hashtag Brenda Weischer, is this one courtesy of Throwing Fits, where she talks about the most interesting subject and something that's a bit complex and a little bit nuanced and stuff concerning the scene and concerning the fashion industry and in general is what happens at night. We all know, if you're part of the scene and whatnot, you'll know, unfortunately, being involved in it and going to collection releases, going to private views, going to after parties, going to fashion shows, going to panel discussions, going to store openings, going to these things in person and hanging out and just being a good vibe and making friends and networking can really get you a long way. Sometimes get you further in your career than actually being good at what you do. Sometimes focusing on just being a cool person to hang out with. Bonus points if you know where to get the drugs. Bonus points if you've got the link for all the best spots in terms of guest list. Bonus points if you can always get a table at the best restaurants. Bonus points if you can get mates race at hotels. All this stuff can actually help you get further in these kind of avenues and these sort of fields than actually being good at a craft, being good at your job. It's sad, but it's true. So if that's the case, you have to play the game to kind of favor you. And I like what Brenda said here, because effectively she's straight-edge from what it sounds like. She doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs for the most part, doesn't really party, yet she's been able to ascend to this lofty position in fashion, mostly from building her own platform, having her own audience, and then leveraging that. She's gone from being a little bit of an influencer, social media star, to then going and doing some contributing with 032C, the amazing magazine, which I have many of over here. Right, see 032C? Look how many 032Cs I have. Look at that. 1, 2 32C. 3 32C. 4 32C. Many. So she's now the I think fashion director of that magazine. So it's a great position. But the reason why she got it is because she's got a pop-in flipping social media. So the need to go out and party and do that whole druggy thing is completely gone. So I do like how she basically interpreted it. So this is a message regarding it, courtesy of Throwing Fits. Let me get up on your screen. Bear with me 1 second. Boom.
God, I'm kicked out of...
No, tell us.
Oh, wrong one. Major fail. Go back again. I think this is the one, right? It is the one. This is the one. So this is the one where she speaks about it.
Who's your favorite person in fashion to party with?
I'm in bed by 10 p.m. I also I don't do.
Person in fashion to party with.
I'm in bed by 10 p.m. I don't do drugs, and most people do. So at some point, you have nothing to talk about with people.
Because they're pitching you off so many good business ideas.
Well, this is also very overworked people who are expected by their bosses to still be socializing and out at 11 p.m.
No, for sure.
I don't have to do that. People suck up to me. My influencing status now maybe this, but these are very hardworking people. I'm not excusing drug use again, but I understand where this comes from because they don't work 9 hours. This is like an endless cycle, and fashion deals are made at 2 a.m. This is how it's super toxic.
There's
but
no work-life balance at all.
At all.
That's where the worst collabs are born at 2 a.m. in a bathroom.
No, fully. But this is where it happens.
Doing Fendi Gucci.
No, but this is how it happens. And there's also no HR for most people. If you're freelance, any stylist, any producer, anyone, if you're being abused, you have no one to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
So this is, I mean, that's really.
So yeah, good point from her. And I love the point that she made, specifically the point around, I don't have to do that anymore now because people suck up to me. I think that's the major thing. And I think for me, that I think has been the key difference to this newer generation of kids coming up. I feel like the kids coming up nowadays are not really enamored about working for an illustrious company, working for an ID, working for an Arena Home, working for a Dazed, working for a 032C. They don't care. Working for a, Condé Nast. Most of these kids, I feel like, want to build their own platform and leverage their fame and their attention with these platforms, and then kind of get the best of both worlds, so that you can have the job and the kind of clout and the sort of prestige that comes from working with a Vogue, but you got your own thing going on, so that if Vogue say, hey, fuck off, we don't need you anymore, we're all set on our diversity hires, no more affirmative action, black people go outside, right? After all the BLM things are over and they send you back out in the streets, at least you've got your Instagram, at least you've got your social media to keep popping and doing that type of thing. So I feel like that's the thing that a lot of these kids are inherently doing, which I like. And also think about it from a point of view of securing the bag. You're always going to be in a strong position because you're operating from a point of like, you're working with them as a collaborator, as a freelancer, as a contractor, as opposed to an employee. So you come in with a bit more clout. They're going to have to order the fucking the pret-a-manger platter for you. They're gonna have to take your dietary concerns into consideration. They're gonna have to order an Uber X to pick you up and shit. They're gonna do all that shit and treat you like a star because you are. But if you're just an employee, you have to get there yourself. You're lugging all the equipment there yourself. You have to spend loads of money out of pocket. You have to invoice all your expenses and then get paid it back in 6 months. It's a terror. So at least when you're approaching it from a point of view of like, no, I'm actually that person. I'm actually that girl. I can hold my position. I've got my platform. You know why you're coming to me. I can get the views, because I'd imagine that column that she's got for 032C is basic, right? You can just like, it's quite easy to say, hey, this is what I'm bringing to your platform. This is my column. I interview all these amazing people. The Rick Owens, article probably is doing numbers. You can see the click-through rate, the read rate, blah, blah, blah. And you can say, hey, since I've joined your company, I've kind of added this amount of views to your platform. Back up the fucking Brinks truck. Give me the bags. Give me the euros. And let me keep going. I love that side of things. And then I also like the idea behind it of like being a part of the scene, kind of positioning an image out there about yourself, but then also not kind of buying into all the fluff and the nonsense. Because I feel like being able to be a part of the scene, purporting this image, and then just kind of living life is kind of a good way to kind of get in and to kind of make yourself a bit different from everybody, but also kind of focus on your job, which is the most important thing. Because I feel like a lot of people, probably similar to her, who are very social media, native, and kind of want to present a certain image about themselves, they probably care about that too much. But I feel like she's got a good balance. She kind of does the whole social media thing, but also clearly works very hard in the background to do her job. And clearly, if you're sleeping at 10 p.m. every day, you can get a good 8 hours in, wake up in the morning, do what needs to be done, answer your emails like a good, influencer does. Take your dog on a walk and, style some bits and bobs and do what needs to be done with a fresh mind, as opposed to get it out of your brain like I would be. So that's great to see. So yeah, she seems really cool. Seems really great. Check out the interview. I haven't listened to it in full. I'm only about halfway through at the moment, but it's up on Throwing Fits. You can find it wherever you find podcasts. They've also got Patreon, so support them on that regard. And he interviews some cool, interesting people within the fashion space. So if you haven't seen that, please do check it out. It's absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's absolutely great. moving on from that, what else we got to talk about here? Oh, I think that might be it, I think that might be it, actually, weirdly enough, because we're already 1 hour, 30 minutes in, mate. So I think that might be it for now. So thank you so much for those of you who have tuned in to check out the show. I do appreciate each and every one of you. It's been an absolute wonder to entertain you this last hour and a half. If you have enjoyed what you've seen so far and you're watching the live stream, please make sure you smash a like for me. I would really appreciate that. That would really help to kind of boost the channel and get it where it needs to be. If you're listening to this via the live stream, don't worry, that's cool. Just flipping, enjoy. That's all nice. If you listen to this after the fact, then please make sure if you listen to this after the fact that you do make sure that you share it with all your family and friends. That'd be greatly appreciated also. And then I'll see you guys on the other side, innit? Thank you once again for tuning in. Been a pleasure to have your company. Big up the stream chat. Big up Mega Fan. Big up Lucid Footwear. Uche's in the chat. Big up Brandon, of course, as per usual in here. Big up P09. Who else is in the chat here? Too many names to mention. Crash 984. All of you in the chat that have been hanging out here. Emmanuel dos Santos earlier. I appreciate every single one of you. Take care. Be safe, my family, my friends. I'll see you guys again very soon. Peace. Take care. Bye.